for me to find it later.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Alex, in the future, when you're listening to this, I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. Can you see me? Can you see me? Let me get in the frame. Haha. All right. So it's Justice. I am doing this new Tesla model, Juniper model, something, whatever. I don't know what these are called. Screen clean mode. So you guys get to see start to finish how I do window tint. All right. So first step, I take these panels off on all the Teslas because, or well, all the Model Y and Model 3s because they get damaged when they get wet. So hopefully they didn't change this design up too much. And this should pop back here. Yep. Oh, that's different. There we go. Cool. Haha. See, it's the same. What taking these out does is it gives me a lot more room here on the edges. And so that's like just more contaminants, or let me phrase it, less contaminants I have to worry about. And then I'm just worried about damaging the trim piece. And so everything should be all Gucci. If anybody ever wonders why I tint so slow, it's because I do a whole lot of extra steps in my prep just to make sure I have the cleanest work on the planet. Because I have an opinion or a theory that as long as it's done within a relatively timely manner, the most important thing is the cleanliness of the install rather than the speed. Because in a year from now, the customer is not going to give a shit if I got the car done in 30 minutes. All they're gonna care about is how like clean the install is. So my super clean installs are my priority. But the other thing too is, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this clump of hair came out from behind that trim piece. So if I can get one less clump of hair underneath my tint, that makes it all worth it. Paper towel roll, orange crush squeegee, red Titan, automotive bulldozer, spray bottle with baby shampoo. Oh, this is the process I go through every single day. All day, every day. Now it's prep time. Got my soak rope down there so we don't have to worry about... Hey, Ryan. That's yours. Okay, yeah. So I got the soak rope down there. It's going to absorb all the water that flows down the windshield so we don't have to worry about any of the electronics. And the speakers can take a little bit of moisture, so I don't worry about those. Because if I put a towel connecting to those, it's going to be in the way and contaminants are going to get on my windshield. So I just use light moisture and it's going to be totally fine. I also, like, one thing I've noticed that I've seen people damage is like the screens. So if you see, I have an extra towel taped on to cover it and then another towel covering it. So there's just no chance moisture can get on there. All right, so I always do one initial prep while the windshield's still clean before I shrink the film or anything like that, so I can see if there's anything obvious. Like there was a big line across the film right here, across the window right there. When I first started, it was like some kind of smudge of something hit it. So that way I can have like a good initial clean and I can see the whole windshield, and then I do one more like prep before I install. So this way I can tell, like, yo, I did a pretty good job. If there's anything obvious on it, like adhesive or something, I have a good chance of seeing it rather than just like hoping I don't. I always prep my window twice just because, especially like only on windshields really, because I'm not naive enough to think that I'm perfect. So I want to make sure that everything looks as good as possible before I go to install. Ow, 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 that's pokey. All right, well, that's different. So, the it probably looks so stupid. The way that I always like fit my hip in the door frame right here. And, which, speaking of which, I need to tape off these trim pieces because these trim pieces are really delicate. But the door panel is digging in the back of my thigh. All right, this should be about as clean as I can get this glass right now. Get the fabric softener on there so we can get a little bit of a slip agent for the film so I can shrink it. I'm really curious at how long this video is going to be. You want to see me spin a towel? Look, 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 look. Yeah, that was such a bad spin. Cool. They cooperated with me. We are very low on Crystalline 50 at the moment. There's like a nationwide shortage at the moment. So I had to cut this out of a 60-inch roll of film, which actually makes it to where I have more space and it makes it a lot easier to shrink these. That's I've definitely gotten film caught underneath my film before when I'm installing it. And that's so depressing because you just have to redo the window because there's no getting a dead bug out from underneath it. So this is my pocket shrink. So I'm shrinking this bottom edge of the film right now. And then once that pocket forms and it seals on the bottom, then I can start heating up the film itself. So this is one of the ways that I get my windshields distortion free, because 3M crystalline is the hardest film on the planet to shrink. This is the 50%, which this is actually the same darkness I have on my windshield. This is my personal preference for windshield darknesses. This is not legal, but it is beautiful. It cuts down on that harsh glare, because like a 50% is still a very light film, but what that 50% means is it's allowing in 50% of the light. So you're stopping half the light that's coming in through the window, 99% of the infrared rays, 99% of the UV rays. So you're getting a very cool drive, and you're cutting out some of that harsher glare. So it's a lot easier on your eyes for when you're driving. Basically, it makes it where you don't need to wear sunglasses. It's the other step I do to prevent distortion. So distortion happens when you get the film too hot and then you hit it with your hard card like that. That will distort the film. I've already let this part cool down, so we're at no concerns of that on this side. But if you're just taking the heat gun and hitting it with your hard card like guys do all the time to shrink windows, you will distort your windshield. So when you're looking at it from the outside, it won't look like there's anything wrong with it. Go to the inside and you look at like a telephone pole wire or something like that, you'll see like it be almost like a zigzag pattern. That is the distortion. And it makes it to where at night, it can be really hard to see when you have lights coming at you, because it'll distort the whole windshield. So far, this is just a basic Model Y windshield. They didn't change the shape of the glass very much, if any. It's shrinking the exact same. The pillars, just that little clip is a little different. That was giving me some problems. I do like the way they did the tail lights in the back. I think that kind of like drop-in design is pretty cool. Hope Alex shows that on the camera or just deletes what I said. I fell into the door frame earlier, and you totally have that on camera.
What do you mean you fell into it?
Dude, yeah, I was going to step right here.
Okay, okay.
And my foot was wet, and it slipped, and I went right into
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Alright, let's clean up this windshield and get all this fabric softener off of it so I can see what I'm doing while I'm installing. I have a song stuck in my head, guys. Still Waiting by 741. So, it's my emo phase that never ended. I couldn't think of anything smart-ass to say. I feel like I'm not being interesting right now. I gotta get this windshield done, though, so you guys can see me do other stuff. I'm down. Well, I'm not running a marathon. Spartan race. I'm doing a Spartan race. I'm also mic'd up too, so for everybody watching this, I'm doing a big trifecta weekend Spartan race where I'm running a 21K, a 10K, 21K one day, then a 10K and a 5-day the next day. I'm not doing anything interesting right now. This is my final. I have to do this perfect, because if this is perfect, it gives me a better opportunity for my film to be perfect. And if my film's not perfect, Joe beats me in the back with a wet towel and sprays cold water on me. Makes me rub my nipples. All right, so here's the film I rolled up earlier. So there's another point where I have to be perfect, perfect, perfect. Because if this film tries to roll back up on itself, or if I crease it, or if some random breeze blows through and blows a bunch of contaminants on my windshield, that's a problem. So many things that can go wrong when you're tinting windows. No, 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 no. This is how my brain works all the time. So, everyone watching the video, do you have an internal... everyone watching the video, do you have an internal monologue that's like constantly going inside your head? Because I would 100% always do. It's how I actually deal with problems and stuff. It's like I talk it out to myself inside my head. And I heard recently that not everybody has that. Some people don't have any voice inside their head, which is weird. Am I still waiting for this world to stop hating? And not reason. So it may look like I'm just squeegeeing willy-nilly, but I'm not. I'm like stretching the film out to the left and to the right. Try to prevent fingers from coming up. Number one rule of tinting, once the film's on, you don't move it. You don't peel it back. You don't do anything like that because you will get more contaminants. And I have done tint for a very long time now, and I hate when I have to. But sometimes in situations like this, whenever, like the most important area when you're tinting a windshield is this area. Oh shit, sorry, Alex, cut it off. The most important area when you're tinting a windshield is this area. It's the point where you're staring at the windshield constantly. If there's any contaminants in there, like right in that area, you have to get rid of them because the customer will see them because they will be staring at their windshield all day, every day for the rest of the life of the vehicle. And anyone who leaves contaminants there in the middle, just lazy. Granted, not everyone's perfect, so you can miss stuff. Everybody can. That's just part of life. We're all human. But this has to be the cleanest area. And especially on a windshield like this that we're going to be doing the ULTRAFIT Evo on afterwards, because you can damage the Evo if you're trying to retint the windshield by shrinking it. You can't cut on it. You'd have to use the plotter cut. Plotter cuts are usually terrible for windshields. For everybody who doesn't know, Alex is filming me right now. He's abusing me, and I don't appreciate it. I had a hair right here that I had to get out from underneath the windshield, and I got it out somehow, and I don't know how. And I cussed, yeah, and I cussed a whole bunch.
Okay, luckily we know this customer.
Yeah, I know he smells bad. This is actually Joe's car. Cool, windshield's done. So that's how you install a windshield. That's how you install 50% crystalline on a car. I did it. Woo! Hooray! And so now when I'm done, I wipe off the excess water so I can get some of these streaks off so I can have a better look at what I'm looking at. Make sure I didn't have any problems anywhere, because with every window I've ever tinted in my entire life, I've had maybe like 3 perfect ones out of the 10 years, and even those perfect ones, if I looked hard enough, I probably would find an issue. So for example, there's a little speck right here. Right around the mirrors, there's always a good chance of contaminants. So this is done. I actually don't know how much Alex wants to film, or wants me to film, or what. But then I take off my plastic pieces. I take the 3M watermarks off. These come off just with alcohol. So they're just there to prove that we're installing 3M crystalline. So people don't lie. And blah, 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 blah. What else? Yep. So I still got to tint all 4 doors, back window, and do the evo on the windshield before this one is completed. Then it's going to get wrapped yellow or something. And yeah, that's it. So front camera, back camera, we're done. Dunzos. Enjoy your day, I think. My birthday is on Thursday, so wish me happy birthday in the chat, guys. And goodbye. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on the gram, and then to see all the other shenaniganry we do. So, yeah. Alex, I'm done.